Okay, today we are going to see about research questions. First, we'll see the meaning of research questions. A research question is a specific inquiry which the research seeks to provide a response to. So, through your research work, what kind of answers you want or what kind of responses you want to get it from the respondent, that you have to ask in the form of the question. That is known as research question. It is a specific inquiry, that is in which problem you are doing the research, or to solve what type of problem you are doing the research. So related with that particular problem, you have to frame the question. Okay, that is the given. It is a specific inquiry. So the problem related with which you are going to do the research, based on that you have to frame the questionnaire. So specific inquiry which the research seeks to find out, to provide the response to. It resides at the core of the systematic investigation. And it helps you to clearly define a path for the research process. So in order to go for systematic investigations, this research questions is very, very important. So this research questions will be helping to clearly define a path for the research process. So if you decided you are going to do the research on the particular topic or the particular area or the particular problem, whatever may be the case, while you are going to start your research work, before that you have to frame the research questions based on your research objectives. So last class we were discussed about the objectives of the study. So based on your objectives of the study, you have to frame the research questions. So what are the questions you want to find? What are the solutions you want to give it? What you want to achieve it through your research? And based on that, you have to frame the research questions. We'll see the types of research questions. One is qualitative research questions. Another one is quantitative research questions. We'll move into the first one, qualitative research questions. So a qualitative research question is a type of systematic inquiry that aims at collecting the qualitative data from the research subjects. The aim of qualitative research questions is to gather non-statistical information pertaining to the experiences, observations, and perceptions of the research subjects in line with the objectives of the investigation. Okay, so the qualitative research questions always will collect the information related with the qualitative data of a particular research subject. The main aim of these kind of questions is to gather the non-statistical informations which are not quantifiable. Okay, so information pertaining to the experiences or the observations and perception of the research subjects in line with the objectives of the investigation. Okay, so under the qualitative research questions, there are different types of that. The first one is ethnographic research questions. So ethnographic research questions are inquiries presented in ethnographic research. It is a qualitative research approach that involves observing the variables in their natural environments or habitats in order to arrive the objective research outcomes. And these research questions help the researchers to gather the insights into the habits, dispositions, perceptions, and behaviors of the research subjects as they interact in specific environments. Okay, so the ethnographic research question is nothing but it is observing the variables in the natural environments It is not artificially you are going to create the environment and that you are going to measure it. It is not like that. So in the natural environment, you are going to measure it. And these questions help the researchers to gather the inputs into the habits or dispositions, perceptions. Say example, you want to measure the consumer's perceptions towards a particular product. So that you can measure through these research questions, these types of research questions. And behaviors of the research subjects. So as they interact in specific environment. Okay, so these kind of research questions, that is ethnographic research questions, can be used in education, business, medicine, and other fields of the study. And they are very useful in context aimed at collecting in-depth and specific information that are peculiar to research variables. Okay, so these type of research questions, that is ethnographic research questions, can be used in education field or the business or the medicines and other fields of the study also. And it is very useful in context aimed at collecting the in-depth and specific information that are peculiar to the research variables. For example, asking educational ethnographic research questions can help you understand how the pedagogy affects the classroom relations and behaviors. Okay, so here the ethnographic research questions, they given the example. If you are going to understand the pedagogy, that is teaching pedagogy, what type of teaching pedagogy you are going to follow in the classroom, and how it is going to affect the classroom relations and behaviors. Okay, so that is called as ethnographic research questions. And examples of ethnographic research questions, like, why do you use this product? Have you noticed any side effects since you started using this drug? Does this product meet your needs? Okay, so this is all collecting the information related with the qualitative data. Why do you use this particular products? Have you noticed any side effects since you started using this drug? Whether you found any side effects are there while you are going to use a particular drug? Does this product meet your needs? Whether the product is able to meet your needs or not. So in the ethnographic research questions, we have the another way to collect the data is case studies. So a case study is a qualitative research approach that involves carrying out a detailed investigations into a research subject or variables. In the course of a case study, the researcher gathers a range of data from multiple sources of information via the different data collection methods and over a period of time. Okay, so even the case study is also called as the qualitative research approach, and it always carrying out their detailed investigations into a research subjects or the variables. And here the researchers collects a range of data from the multiple sources of information via different data collection methods and over a period of time. So some of the questions the researchers can include in the case studies are, why did you choose our services? How has this policy affected your business outcome? What benefits have you recorded since you started using our products? So like that, questions will be asked during the time of case study method. Okay, so in the case studies, you have to ask, these are the questions you have to ask. Why did you choose our services? How has this policy affected your business output? What benefits have you recorded since you started using our product? Then second method, interviews. So an interview is a qualitative research method. It involves asking the respondent a series of questions in order to gather the information about a research project. So interview, you can have the personal interactions with the people, and through that you can collect the information. So interview questions can be close-ended or open-ended, and they prompt participants to provide valid information that is useful to the research. An interview may also be structured or semi-structured or unstructured, and this further influences the types of questions they include. Okay, so this interview will be structured, that is a formal way of doing the research. You have to prepare the questionnaire, what are the questions you want to ask during the time of interviews, everything is, you have to prepare it, and how you are going to give the introduction, how you are going to start asking the questions, which is the first question, which is the second question, like that you have to prepare it in the structured manner. Semi-structured in the sense, the half will be, you are going to follow the formal way of collecting the information. The another way, maybe indirect way of collecting the information. That is not in formal way of collecting. Unstructured, there is no structure in order to collect the data. So the examples of interview questions include, what challenges did you face while using our product? What specific needs did our product meet? What would you like us to improve our service delivery? So these types of questions you can ask while you are going to collect the information, or you are going to ask the questions to the interview through the interviews method. Then quantitative research questions. So far we discussed about qualitative research questions. So in the qualitative research questions, the qualitative phenomena, you are going to ask the questions. What are the terms we can call it as the qualitative phenomena? Okay, so say example, the beautiful, honesty, intelligent. So like that, which are the things you are not able to quantify, that is everything will comes under the qualitative research. So the questions will be related with the qualitative basis, that is known as qualitative research questions. So in the qualitative research questions, there are two methods are there, that is under the ethnographic research questions, there are two methods. One is case study method, another one is interviews method. Okay, next one, we are moving to the quantitative research questions. So quantitative research questions are the questions that are used to gather the quantifiable data from the research subjects. So these types of questions will be related or will be going to deal with only the quantitative nature, that is, which are the data, which are the information you can quantifiable. And these types of research questions are usually more specific and direct. Okay, these types of research questions are usually more specific and direct because they aim at collecting the information that can be measured. That is statistical information. So which are the terms you are easily measured with the terms of the quantifiable one. So that kind of data you can collect through the this quantitative research questions, because that will be going to provide the statistical informations and which will be going to help you to go for the further analysis with the help of the statistical tools. Okay, so this quantitative research question has the types. The first one, descriptive research questions. So descriptive research questions are inquiries that researchers use to gather quantifiable data about the attributes and characteristics of research subjects. Okay, so descriptive research questions is nothing but the inquiries that the researchers use to gather the quantifiable information, the quantifiable data about the attributes and characteristics of the research subjects. These types of questions primarily seek the responses that reveal existing patterns in the nature of the research subjects. And these research questions are typically close-ended because they aim at gathering the definite and specific responses from the research participants. Okay, so close-ended questions is nothing but you will be given the option. Okay, whether you will be given yes or no, or you will be given like this. 4 options will be given. Out of 4, you have to choose any one. So that is called as close-ended. If you are going to ask fill in the blanks, okay, then we can call it as the open class interval. Or any suggestions can you give? If you ask like that, that is open-end. So closed-ended questions are nothing but you will be restricted with the choices. What are the choices you are going to give for the particular question? So these descriptive research questions are typically closed-ended because they aim at gathering the definite and specific responses from the research participants. Then, for examples of descriptive research questions, how often do you make use of our fitness application? How much would you be willing to pay for this product? Okay, there you may given the options. How often do you make use of our fitness application? Maybe you can specify weekly, or you can specify fortnight, or you can specify monthly or biannually. Like that, you have to give the options. So that is it is called as quantitative data you are going to collect through these types of research questions. How much would you be willing to pay for this product? So you can specify either rupees 500 rupees or 600 rupees or 700 rupees or 800 rupees, like that. That is known as descriptive research questions. So descriptive research questions are inquiries that researchers use to gather the quantifiable data about the attributes and characteristics of the research subjects. And these types of questions primarily seek responses that reveal existing patterns in the nature of the research subjects. And descriptive research questions are typically closed-ended because they want to collect, they have the aim of collecting the definite and specific responses from the research participant. Okay, next one, comparative research questions. The other type of research questions in the quantitative research question is comparative research questions. A comparative research question is a type of quantitative research question. So this is also comparative research question, also a type of the quantitative research question, but it is used to gather the information about the differences between 2 or more research subjects, across the different variables. Okay, so the comparative research question is a type of quantitative research questions that is used to collect the information about the differences between two or more research subjects across the different variables. So what are the differences are there between two or more research variables? And these types of questions help the researchers to identify distinct features that mark one research subject from the other while highlighting existing similarities. Okay, so these types of questions will be going to help you for the researchers in order to identify the distinct features, that is different features that marks one research subject from the other while highlighting the existing similarities. Then the 5 steps involved in the framing of comparative research questions are: choose your starting phrase. How you have to start the question. Choose your starting phrase. Then identify and name the dependent variable. Identify and name the dependent variable. Then identify the groups you are interested in. Then identify the appropriate adjoining text. Write out the comparative research question. So these are the steps you have to follow while you are going to frame the comparative research questions. First thing, you have to choose your own starting phrase in which way you are going to start the research questions, and identify the name of the dependent variable, which are the dependent variables that you have to identify, and identify the groups you are interested in. Then identify the appropriate adjoining the text and write out the comparative research questions. Okay, here they given the samples of comparative research questions. What are the differences between a landline telephone and a smartphone? So what they will be doing here, they will be comparing the landline telephone with the smartphone. So this is one of the sample questions for comparative research questions. What are the differences between a landline telephone and a smartphone? What are the differences between the work from home and on-site operations? So this will be comparing the two different criteria. Okay, so here first question, it will be comparing the landline telephone number with the smartphone. And second one, it compares the work from home options with the on-site operations. Okay, so this is called as comparative research questions. Next one, relationship based research questions. So relationship based research question is one that inquires into the nature of the association between two research subjects within the same demographic. Okay, so it is one that inquires into the nature of the association between two research subjects within the same demographic. So demographic is nothing but it may be related with the study of human population in terms of age, size, income, occupation, race, generation, like that. Okay, so that is called as demographics. So these types of research questions help you to gather the information pertaining to the nature of the association between the two research variables. If you take the age and occupation, or age and income, whether there is any relationship is there between the two variables, income and age of the person. So these kind of questions will be asked through these relation-based research questions. So it is also known as correlational research questions because they seek to clearly identify the link between two variables. Okay. So the examples of relationship-based research questions include: what is the relationship between the purchasing power and the business side? What is the relationship between the work environment and the workforce turnover? So these are the way you have to ask the relationship-based research questions. So how they ask, what is the relationship between the purchasing power and the business side? What is the relationship between the work environment and the workforce turnover? So in this way, you have to ask the relationship-based research questions.